So, yeah, by that very visceral intro, today we're going to be talking about Pokemon. And would you believe it? This is the second episode that we've talked about Pokemon on the series.
Like, so something, because I know it's a franchise that, has been very important to you over the years and stuff. So it's good to be, getting back into it again. And I think this is the first one that I've been on to do Pokemon. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I keep saying to you, oh, go on. Why don't we? So, yeah, today we are going to be talking about what it would be like to live in the Pokemon world. And let me tell you right now, boys and girls, and men and women listening, it would be hell. I'm just going to throw that.
Wow, you didn't even try and sugarcoat that one.
No, you know usually how I always balance the argument. I say, there's some good points or some bad points. No, this would be straight up hell. See if you convince yourself otherwise that living in the Pokemon world would be anything but a hellscape. What is wrong with you? I just want to point out as well, we're not going to be treading over old ground. We're not going to be going into it's 10-year-olds fighting with monsters and the people, Adam, where they say really milquetoast criticisms of video games like Mario Eats Mushrooms, where the Sonic stories rings, Halo's a stupid name, those kind of people.
Oh, I love those people. But not really.
Do you know what actually reminds me of, and this is going to be a really weird side tangent, but the Pokemon universe actually reminds me of when I was in history class in school and our teacher told us that he was talking to this student one time who wanted to be a vet, and apparently this student had turned around and said, oh, I would love to be a vet, I can't wait to deal with all the cute animals and all the puppies and the kittens. I think it was a bit of a killjoy, but he was like, you do realise you're going to have to do some really nasty shit to these animals. You're going to have to take their temperatures in certain places. You're going to have to, do all these grimy things. And apparently the student was very much like, no, I would just deal with the cute ones. And he was just shaking his head as if, no, you wouldn't. That's how I feel about the Pokemon universe. It's like, it looks cute and cuddly on the outside, but there's a lot of shit you're going to have to put your hands on.
You tell me you don't fancy shoving a thermometer up Charizard's ass.
The thermometer would break.
That's a good point, actually. They must have special ones. There must be a special thermometer for a situation like that.
So, Adam, what's your relationship with Pokemon?
I was a little bit late to the Pokemon party, but I played Blue, and I really enjoyed it. I had a deep love for it. And I also played some of Yellow. I didn't finish Yellow, but I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed some of the anime I would watch when it was on. I still have Pokemon cards, and that was all the rage at school at the time, as I'm sure you probably remember as well, Satsu. However, after that, I kind of fell away from the Pokemon franchise. I think a lot of it was that I didn't get any kind of Nintendo consoles after. I had a Game Boy Advance, but I didn't get Gold or anything like that. But after that, I didn't really get any Nintendo console, so I kind of fell away from the franchise, and I really had no kind of interest. My kind of gaming interest went other directions. And then when I got a Switch, I got a copy of Sword, I believe, and I played a little bit of Sword, but I didn't really get too far into it. And I just sat there. And this is not me taking a shot at the franchise at all. It's more me. This is more a me problem than a Pokemon problem. I just don't think it's quite a game for me. It's just not something that I enjoy as much as other games. And if you enjoy it, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I encourage you. Like what you like, but it's not something not a game series that really appeals to me, I have to be honest. But I certainly loved playing Blue. And yeah, I enjoy talking about it as well, because I think it's a fascinating universe that's been built up.
No, going back to an earlier point you made there, I totally agree with the Pokemania that absolutely swept through the country. If you want to hear more about, especially my experience and friend of the channel Craigie C's experience with Pokemania during the 90s and the early 2000s, definitely go listen to our episode on Pokemania. Yeah, the long and the short of it was I was in a similar boat of being swept up in Pokemania. My first game was actually Pokemon Yellow. I would watch the anime. I was really obsessed with it for the longest time. I even completed the Pokedex in Pokemon Silver, I want to say. I ended up playing Ruby Ruby and Sapphire. And I think around that kind of time, when I was starting to get into high school, I was moving a little bit away from Pokemon, because I've said this story many times, but there was a point in my life where I actually moved away from kind of childish games, quote unquote, like Pokemon, Sonic, and I thought, oh, because I'm getting older, I have to go to play more mature games, if that makes sense. Like, oh, your Call of Duties, your Halos, which is a stupid thing to say, but back then, as a kind of insecure child, you think, oh, maybe I shouldn't be playing these baby games. But it came full circle again, where after school I got back into them, played them, absolutely loved them. But again, I'm kind of the same, Adam. I'm not really as passionate about the series as I used to be. I mean, I've still played, I think the latest game I played is Pokemon Arceus, and as well the Diamond and Pearl remake and Sword and Shield, which they're okay. I mean, they're good enough games, but the more you read into this like expansive lore, and this is what actually inspired this episode, the more like you read into the later games, especially games like Sun and Moon and the remakes for Sapphire and Ruby, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, you realise that there is a lot of dark content in these games. It's no longer you're just like a tiny pixel boy picking your first animal to be friends with, and you walk around the country and go, I'm gonna fight with Pokemon. You know, it's all very colourful and relatively kid-friendly, but the more you kind of peel back the facade, as it were, it gets really dark really fast. And without really spoiling anything, I sent you a couple of points. Has it changed your mind about living in the Pokemon universe? Yeah?
I mean, I feel like it changed a lot about me. I feel like again my childhood was shattered all over again. You Robocopped me basically with those facts, but no, they were certainly eye opening. I won't lie. I was sitting on the bus today coming back from work, and I was like, huh, well, how about this?